Alright, hello everybody, welcome back to Space268 YouTube channel. If you're new here, welcome. Please remember to like and subscribe to my channel, as this may actually help make some of these builds possible one day, as I would love to do all these builds, because as you saw from the thumbnail and the title, you're talking about the top 10 cars I want to build in my lifetime. This was one idea I had a while back after watching David Freiberger's video of top 10 cars that got away. Which I haven't owned that many cars, so I really don't have any yet that got away. I could do a video on guitars that got away, because I have a few good stories and there's one that really still does pain me, but getting back to the point, so I decided to do this is, I've decided to do, throughout my life, there have been some builds I've always wanted to do. They've come and gone a little bit, but I'm looking at them right now, and these are some builds I want to do. Fair warning, there are a lot of GM on here, because I've used to be a diehard Chevy guy. However, there is also some kind of a fun oddballs on here that you may not expect, which leads me into number 10, a third gen Honda Insight. So I have one of these cars, and they're really fun to drive, and they're kind of unique in my opinion. Yeah, and so I'd love to try to, but my big things I love about that car is how well that car handles. If you ever driven it in third gen Insight, you just know you can beat the absolute crap out of that thing, and it just handles and keeps giving it, and the chassis is actually really good. So I'd love to build one of those cars into like a little fun drivable track car, street drivable, like, like you can do a little day trip to the track and then street drive it home like a street strip car, but like street track. Maybe one day take it to Road America, run it stock, see how it does, and then build it and see what it does. You know what I mean? I want to put a wide. So what I do with it? Want a wide body kit and some weight TE37s. I just feel like that would be the look for that car. I also have toyed with the idea of doing fake Civic SI I/slash Type R badging on it, as I thought that would just be a funny meme, as I never really made it inside Type R, and it'd be kind of a cute little troll in my opinion. So let me know what you think. And then for the engine, I'd probably get rid of the hybrid system, because as of recording this video in 2024, hybrid systems they're a good system down low, but they fall really hard up top, which is one of my biggest issues I have with the current powertrain on there. So I'd probably take that out and put like a K24 turbo in it. I measured it. You can fit an LS in there. You could do that too. I'd probably leave it automatic, just so you won't have to deal with the hassle of putting a clutch pedal in it. But I've thought about getting like a sequential in that car, but in reality, I think it'd probably end up being automatic, just for the simplicity and ease of use. Because I would want to keep full interior and keep it a semi-decent street car, full underglow. Overall, make it a really cool show slash track street car. Overall, good all-around cars, which is because that's what I feel like that car is. Moving into number 9 is a CJ8 by Jeep. The CJ8 Scramblers, in my opinion, look really nice, and they also, I want to say, don't quote me on this, are before Dodge bought out Jeep, which means you can beat the absolute, I've seen it in my own family, I've heard stories about how you can literally beat the crap out of it and just tear anything you want down concrete trail, and they just keep going, like it's really hard to break them and stuff. And the CJ8, I've noticed, I feel like it has a longer wheelbase, which I like, because then you have more room to store stuff, to actually bring your buddies off-roading, which is why I like the CJ8 chassis. See, what I do with it is I make it a fun little overland slash off-road vehicle, since I like going out to the Smokies, Badlands, that area. I like going out to those places. Maybe do some like off-roading, fishing, and camping, and that sort of stuff. That's what I kind of want to do with it. Then I probably would leave the stock drivetrain in it, maybe put like fuel injection with an overdrive transmission in it, just because I feel like it'd be cool. Since with the 4 or 6 cylinder as cool as a V8 would be, as much as I love V8s. I feel like it'd be cool to kind of see how good of a gas mileage you can get out of a stock Jeep motor, because I feel like if you know what you're doing, you could probably get pretty good. Good in my opinion. So we'll have to see. I'd probably lift it, put a nice interior in it with some suspension buckets, so your back doesn't get absolutely destroyed on the trails, with a nice stereo and stuff. So yeah, that's what I would do with that. Coming at number 8 is a 57 Chevy Bel Air hardtop. 57 Chevys, if you don't know what they are, look them up. They're such an iconic American classic. Classic being a nice big, and in my opinion, that's my favorite of the Tri-5ers. You got the big wing and the 1 year only dash, which in my opinion looks really good. Good. I would love to make it a gasser, and I'll consider that's pretty fast. I don't know if I'd put a cage in it or not for how fast if I ever want to run a dry strip, which I probably would. I would have put a cage in it. But there's also probably like put a nice interior and put a nice streetcar in there, make it a streetcar. It would be stick shift. I'd probably use a built T56 Magnum in it by RPM transmissions. Probably Ford 9-inch or GM12 bolt. That's what I want to do. Full custom gasser chassis. See, that's built to handle it. I'd probably do a blue with a sparkle gold top and dash, and do like an old school 50s, 60s gasser style delivery on the thing. And I'd also want to, I know the engine I would put in it. I don't want to see it here because I don't want somebody ripping off the idea. But let's just say it sounds like a lawnmower and it's a custom one-off engine that's going to cost about $100K. And it's basically just stacking 3 of one engine together. And it's going to make probably over 600 wheel. That's all I'm going to say about the engine. Take your guesses in the comments below. I will try to see if I feel like it, comment back on whether you're right or not, but I don't think anyone here is going to guess it. Because it's just that good of an idea, and I don't want anyone to know what it is, because it's just good. And then also, too, another hint is going to be the next car on the list of what engine is going in it. And that will be another hint I will give you. Which leads me to number 6, a Mazda RX-7. I actually got into RX-7s, the FCs, when I saw Taylor Ray build his abandoned FC, which he ended up trading to a guy in Wisconsin. So, with that, I originally wanted to say screw the rotary stuff and all that, and make it like a nice little simple first drift car with an LS 5.3, or maybe even like I'd even maybe do like a 4.8 LS or whatever those are. Just something like a little nice, fun little like a fun little track car that's like got an interior and everything that you can still drive, that's just enough legally where you can still drive it on the street. Because for me, a big thing is always making it where you can drive on the street, because for me, I just feel like that's also a big part of the fun, because you can drive to and from events. And also, too, it's also kind of nice being able to just jump in and go to lunch. But I also feel like you also have to have some purposeful track cars. I'd probably do a nice angle kit on it, adjustable suspension in the rear 488 diff, definitely, a really nice bucket seat is what I would do in it. However, even though I originally wanted to do like a more drift car, that deal, I'm kind of slowly leaning more away towards it and kind of building more like a street style RX-7. Like before I wanted to get interior all stuff, now I'm kind of leaning towards keep the full interior in it, because it sounds like they do have pretty nice interiors. Maybe do bucket seats, maybe not. I haven't really messed with the stock RX-7 seats, so I don't know how good they are. Or who knows, maybe do a custom one-off interior with the cage. So it's going to have to be caged. I've also, as I've learned more about rotaries, and I kind of really want a rotary. So I'm thinking about maybe not doing an LS in that car, but instead doing a Turbo 13B. So I think you can get motors out of an RX-8 dirt cheap, and I figured just throw it in there just to get it going and to learn how to drift and kind of see how that's going, you know what I mean? And do like a nice standalone ECU and all that stuff on it, instead of just throw it together and make it like a cheap little muscle car, drift car. Okay, so yeah, let me know how you build an RX-7 down below. I'm open to ideas. Also, now I'm no longer just tied to the FC. I'm willing to do like an FD or an FB, so hit me up. Maybe an FB drift car would be interesting because you just don't see them. Like I literally can't find an angle kit for an FB because I look, because otherwise I would actually probably buy an FB if I could figure out an angle kit, because FBs are, at time of recording this, last I looked a little bit ago, but FBs were stupid cheap compared to the other ones. If you know what I mean. Give me a second. My camera's held. Oh man. So yeah, which then leads me to number 6 on this list. which is some sort of old Chevy Suburban. I've always been a big fan of Suburban body style. So I used to be a bigger Suburban over a truck guy. As I've gotten older, it's kind of changed a little bit. But it used to be I wanted an old pre-1994 earlier Suburban, 3/4 ton big black truck, and I was gonna use it as like a tow pig to tow my stuff around because I'm into fishing and stuff, and I kind of want to get a boat and stuff. So I thought about maybe getting like an old Suburban, and doing that. They've gone up in value and stuff, and as I've gotten older, I feel like they're a cool chassis. I don't know if they've been slept on the square bodies, so they're usually a little bit cheaper. I still want to do a pre-1994 earlier because I feel like that's when they look the best. Except now, as much I'm not tied as much to a 3/4 ton as I used to be, if I'm being honest. That's I feel like for what I want to do to it, which would be maybe if we get a 3/4 ton, if not, that's fine. Make it where you can tow like a nice little boat or something like that, or a small camper behind it. But then just make it like the ultimate homie hauler, like nice stereo, nice quiet exhaust, full sound deadening, all that stuff. Because I feel like that'd be pretty cool. Another thing too is if it has a big block, I figure build a nice little turkey big block for it. If it's a small block, then I thought about maybe because even with the big block, I probably just do. I saw an interesting article on 87 pump gas, like how much horsepower can you safely make on 87. Maybe I'd build like a bigger or small block for it, depending what it had in it from the factory. You're just seeing, how much could you make safely, and see what if we could hit a decent number and put that in there. Probably would use a 700R4 transmission or a 480E. Definitely would be fuel inject. I'm not sure about fuel injection yet. I might go fuel injection, microcarburetor. That's to be determined. I don't know what I do yet. But yeah, overall, I'm thinking on that. Probably just a nice homie hauler that can also be used for some light work. Number 5. This one fluctuates because I really want one, but at the same time, it's like, But, I mean, number 5, this one's a cool one. 70 RS Camaro. Honestly, I would probably do any split bumper Camaro, in my opinion. Or second gen. I really like the second gens, but I feel like if you got the earlier generation, which I want to say is like pre-1979, so 1970, 1978, I feel like you have to go with the RS front end with the split bumpers. In my opinion, it just looks so much aesthetically better. It just looks so much more menacing. I don't know what engine I do with it. I used to be dead set on doing a carbureted big block, but as I get older, I'm like, because it'd be heavy, and I don't know if I want to make a crap ton of power or cage it, so I could probably build a small block that would do the same, but they'd get better gas mileage, you know what I mean? A small block would be better, so maybe we'll do like an 87 octane build for that. I honestly don't know what engine I put in. Like I said, I'm upstairs. Like maybe instead of doing that in the Suburban, maybe do a big block Suburban, do a small block in the Camaro and see what it does. Definitely overdrive automatic transmission. Probably 4 9-inch, Ritec suspension all the way around with Wilwood brakes. And a nice interior. Nice, with some little custom bits and pieces in there just to tie it all together with a nice stereo and working AC. See? Basically build the ultimate split bumper Camaro, and in a weird way, make it where if the 70 Camaro was made today, how would they have built it with today's technology in a weird way? I've seen some bit of old school technology in there, but you get what I mean. Like I said, 70 RS Camaro, it's one of those cars I know I want to build, but it's just, I don't know. It's just, I don't know, I'm not dead set on build plan. I'm open to ideas, so comment down below. Oh, which moves us into number 4. S13 240SX, preferably hatchback. Okay. The first time I really saw a 240 was Cy Powell 4 and his RB25 240SX, and I just fell in love with the car. Then, of course, you end up seeing Adam LZ in the Cream S13, and other YouTubers that have S chassis and whatnot. Not like Jimmy Oaks and Black Coupe or Cherry Hatch. I honestly really do want Jimmy Oaks to bring back the Cherry Hatch, so maybe one day we'll get lucky, don't bring it back, but I'm not having my hopes up just yet. So for that car, I would do a Built Mathworks RB26 in it, just because I feel like that's an iconic drivetrain. That's kind of, I always wanted an RB CD double with a T56 Magnum transmission because they have double overdrive in them and they're a good transmission, and they're also not as big and bulky. You don't have to cut the shifter hole. Anyone who's LCD knows shifters, since they have them so far back, it's always a hold the back and you have to cut the floor. I'm hoping if I go T56 that won't be an issue. Probably a 350Z diff. I'd use a diff 350Z diff because they're good. Full G-Tech drift grip suspension front and rear. I probably wouldn't cage it. I'd just make it like a nice little street car because that's what I've originally wanted, and I want to build more than enough drift cars in my life will last me a while. And the next car on this list could be used for drifting, so I'm not sold on it. The idea of turning it into a drift car yet. Full aftermarket wiring ECU with the PDM probably. Overall, let's make it a really nice RB26 Skyline drift car. Exterior, I'd probably repaint it factory color. Or burgundy or purple or white, who knows? And probably some subtle like Type X aero kit with the stock USA taillights, because I just feel like they look a little bit better in my opinion. I like them a little bit better, and I feel like it'd be more unique. That's just my take. So moving on to number 3 on this list is the 68 Dodge Charger. I used to be a diehard Chevy guy, but then I was watching Roadkill, and then I saw the General Mayhem 68 Charger episode where they built that thing, and I saw that thing just looked epic, jumping around the dirt and stuff, the pulling on the motor on 440 and stuff, and I'm like, I gotta have that car. Obviously, I don't think that's going to sell anytime soon, but I would love to build a 68 Charger, and people think they're crazy. The problem is they're crazy expensive now to do what I want to do with it, because people want to make them nice stuff and preserve them. Me, I just want to build them like a really fun, cheap thrash car. Engine-wise, I'd probably do a cheap 440 out of a rebuilt 440 stock with a thermoquad on it, carburetor used. If you watch Roadkill, you know why that carburetor is kind of iconic. And probably a T56 transmission in it, or a TKO because I'd want it to be a stick with either a 4-inch or a Mopar 8 3/4 rear end. Would definitely have dual rear calipers and a hydro e-brake for drifting. I've thought about either going full coilover or an upgraded stock deal. I don't know yet. Yeah, probably it's gonna be like a Hutchins suspension, because that's what they used on General Mayhem back in the day, just to get those old school vibes. Painted red, white, and blue, make it look really nice and patriotic. I'm really envisioning this car in my head right now and how good it'd be. And then maybe make the interior nice RAC and all that stuff, like a nice driver, but then maybe have like the dash with the original Mayhem just a little bit more, what's the word I'm looking for? More unpolished, and make it look nice, like full aftermarket gauges, maybe just a metal overlay instead of the factory dash bezel. Overall, basically build a 68 Charger just to thrash around and have fun with a 440 in it, or a big black, and that'd just be a good time car if they ever come down in value. Number 2 on this list is maybe a big shocker, because I feel like these cars, you either love them or you hate them. The Chevrolet Impala. Most notably, number 2 is a 67 Chevrolet Impala. But his buddy had one of these, actually still has a car. And for me, I just feel like the car just looks, 67 Impalas are just one of, if not the best looking car GM's ever put out. In my opinion, it actually looks more race car and stylistically better than a 67 Camaro, which that's going to probably be a heated debate in the comments. You guys can debate that down below whether or not I'm right? And I just want to make like an old nostalgic super stock drag car. If you ever don't know what that series is, basically what it is they take a bunch of old drag cars and they make them build them like old super stock cars. It's a pretty cool thing. And I thought about building a 67 Impala just to do that, which means it'd be big block Chevy, tunnel ram. I would definitely do the Corvette Stingray style hood scoop, if you know what I'm talking about. Those just look so good. I'd probably paint either gold or white. 700R4 transmission in it, if I could figure out how to make TV cable work with tunnel ram, either 460E, because I would want to go automatic in it, but I do want the overdrive because I do want it to be streetable. Well, with a full vintage air system in it, like a nice AC, nice stereo, stock restored interior. Here, the color probably depending on when I paint the outside. If I do decide to paint the outside. And yeah, that's pretty much it for that car. Oh, and I'd also do the old school Kragers and maybe do the SS badging. We'll see. So yeah, that's my 67 Impala I want to build in my mind. Number one, what? Before we do number one, I think we're gonna do some honorable mentions. I'd say S15 Sylvia full out pro drift car. I don't know if I've seen that Maltese car and Samus car. I just really want one of those. This feel fun to have. Also, vet cart. I don't know why, but I just feel like a little Corvette go kart after seeing Leroy just seems like a lot of fun. Fun to have. Also, Roadkill had a vet cart, and that was pretty cool. So overall, you want a vet cart, and an LS Miata. After seeing Taylor build this car, see how competitive that thing is. I kind of wanted to build one a while back, but I don't know if that may happen one day. Probably not, because I realize there's better chassis out there to build on that I'd much rather do. But yeah, overall, I just feel like that'd be pretty good. So number one, in a Chevy El Camino. No, the car within the GM car that literally has an identity crisis, and the fact is, it is still a heavily debated topic to this day, even though they haven't been produced since the 80s, of whether or not that car, that vehicle is a car or a truck. Debate that down in the comments below. If you choose to. Some say it's a car because it's based off car chase, some say it's a truck because it has a bed. Overall, for the biggest, probably my most favorite year would be 67, because my favorite racing game of all time is Gran Turismo 6 on the PS3. I love it at 67 El Camino in there. And I love that car. If I were to get a 67, or if I were to get an El Camino, I would probably paint it burnt orange metallic, because that's when I like that car the most in there. Do some old school rims on it. I'd probably like some Kragers, just make it look really nice and old school and clean. Full AC system. I've thought about putting a cage in it, but at the same time I don't, because I just don't feel like El Caminos won't be fun to cage because of the back window situation of it being partially a truck. Those of you who cage trucks, you know what I'm talking about. Well, I also want to do a white topper on it, because I feel like that could be pretty cool. Well, basically like the way I had it in GTA 6 when I had it, because I painted different colors in that thing, and I just realized it just doesn't look as right as that. Maybe do some old school lettering on the side of it, we'll see. Who knows if I ever get around to building one. Engine would be a good old T50. Engine would be a 396 big block Chevy, because one of my dream engines would be because the 396 big block I feel like is an underrated engine. The fact you're still a big block Chevy, so I build a 396 big block with the 360 inches, and I just want to see put a supercharger on it and see how much power could you possibly get out of a 396 big block. That's one of my dream engine builds, so I'd love to do that. Transmission wise, I'd probably end up doing an automatic in it, or a stick, who knows. I'm honestly undecided. Probably whatever the car came with, set up with, is what I'm gonna probably put in it. I would also maybe consider doing a 59 El Camino. In that case, I wouldn't do a 396. I would do a built 409 or W Series Mark 1 big blocks. I always did want to do one of those because they're just cool engines. I kind of want to mess with them as an oddball. Let me know if you want to see a video. Let me know if you want to see a video on top 10 engines I want to build, because there's a lot of them, and there's probably going to be some really cool oddball ones that you wouldn't see me wanting to build in there. And then I'd probably do a GM 12 bolt or a Ford 9-inch rear axle. And I could get full ride tech suspension, lower brakes, unisteer, rack and pinion conversion. I would do that on that car with a nice aftermarket column. Interior, I'd probably leave it stock bench seat, like a stockish interior, full stock rustrum mod interior, stored with AC and a stereo. And overall, just make it a really nice cruiser. It's a street car that can also be pretty fast. So that is it for today's video. I hope you all enjoyed. Please comment, like, and subscribe, because maybe if we get enough subscribers, it'll actually help me be able to afford to do some of these builds right now. Help me get some money to do some of these builds. But overall, hope you all enjoyed today's video. Thank you all for watching, thank you all for subscribing, and goodbye.